Gianni Roselli, born Filippo Sacco on July 4, 1905, in Asperia, Italy, was a notable figure in organized crime in America, primarily known for his deep connections to the Chicago outfit, his involvement in Hollywood, and his ties to the CIA. His life is one of intrigue, filled with major criminal activities, relationships with infamous mobsters, and mysterious circumstances, ending with his murder. Early life and move to America. Roselli immigrated to the United States with his family as a child, settling in Boston. After his father died, he began engaging in petty crimes as a teenager. In the early 1920s, Roselli moved to Chicago, where he became involved with the criminal underworld, eventually aligning himself with the Chicago outfit, one of the most powerful criminal organizations in America. Chicago, rise in the underworld. Roselli's rise within the Chicago outfit was primarily due to his relationship with Al Capone, who led the outfit during the Prohibition era. Roselli became a trusted enforcer and was heavily involved in bootlegging and extortion. His suave demeanor and ability to move through social circles made him an asset to the mob. By the late 1920s, Roselli's activities were expanding, and his criminal empire grew. However, his most significant contribution to the mob came after he moved to Los Angeles. Los Angeles, Hollywood, and crime. In the early 1930s, Roselli moved to Los Angeles, where he began to carve out a unique position for himself within the film industry. He became involved with the Hollywood crowd, forming close relationships with prominent figures in the film industry and gaining control over labor unions, most notably the Screen Actors Guild. This influence allowed Roselli to skim money from Hollywood productions, solidifying his wealth and status in the mob. During his time in Los Angeles, Roselli worked closely with Bugsy Siegel, another notorious mobster, to establish gambling operations in Nevada. Siegel's focus on building the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas created a partnership between organized crime and the development of the Las Vegas Strip, a hotspot for illegal gambling at the time. Las Vegas, gambling operations, and mob influence. Roselli's involvement in Las Vegas expanded throughout the 1940s and 1950s. He became one of the key figures in ensuring that the Chicago outfit maintained control over casinos. His job was to oversee operations, ensuring the mob skimmed profits from casinos without the authorities catching on. Roselli's control over casino operations in Las Vegas was a lucrative position that brought him wealth, but also made him a target for law enforcement. As the FBI began cracking down on organized crime, Roselli's activities came under more scrutiny. CIA connections, the Castro assassination plots. One of the most unusual chapters in Roselli's life involved his relationship with the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. During the early 1960s, the CIA recruited Roselli, along with other mobsters such as Sam Giancana, to assist in attempts to assassinate Cuban leader Fidel Castro. The reasoning behind this collaboration was that the mob had extensive networks in Cuba due to their pre-revolution control of casinos and other businesses on the island. The CIA believed that mobsters like Roselli, with their experience in covert operations and ties to anti-Castro factions, could facilitate assassinations without direct involvement from the U.S. government. Several plots were concocted, including poisoning Castro's food and employing hitmen, but none were successful. The details of Roselli's involvement in these plots became public during the 1970s, when the Senate conducted investigations into the CIA's activities. This made Roselli a target for further scrutiny from the government. Murders and criminal activities. Throughout his life, Roselli was implicated in various murders and criminal enterprises. While he was rarely charged or convicted of violent crimes, his position within the mob meant he likely played a role in orchestrating killings. His involvement in the mob's control of Las Vegas, Hollywood extortion, and labor racketeering put him at the center of organized crime in America. There are rumors and suspicions that Roselli may have had knowledge or involvement in some of the most infamous hits in mob history, including possibly being linked to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. These suspicions arose because of his connections to the CIA and the belief that mob figures, angered by Robert Kennedy's crackdown on organized crime, may have been involved in the assassination. The end of Roselli, death and conspiracy. In the mid-1970s, Roselli was called to testify before the U.S. Senate's Church Committee, which was investigating the CIA's assassination plots. He provided testimony regarding the Castro plots but may have feared that he knew too much and was being watched by both the government and the mob. In 1976, Roselli disappeared. His body was discovered on August 9, 1976, stuffed in a 55-gallon drum floating off the coast of Miami. He had been strangled and stabbed. Many theories surround Roselli's murder, with some believing that he was killed by mobsters who feared he would divulge more secrets to the government, while others suspect the CIA might have been involved to cover up their clandestine operations. Legacy. Gianni Roselli remains one of the most enigmatic figures in American organized crime. His connections to Hollywood, the mob, and the CIA make his life the stuff of legend. Roselli's murder, still unsolved, adds to the mystery surrounding his life. His involvement in major historical events like the rise of Las Vegas, The control of Hollywood unions and assassination attempts against Fidel Castro places him at the center of some of the 20th century's most significant criminal and political stories. Numerous documentaries and books have been created about Johnny Roselli, detailing his mysterious life and untimely death. His life represents a blend of criminal enterprise and covert governmental operations, making him a unique figure in both mob and intelligence histories. Thanks for tuning into Sika True Crime Docs. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating tales. Your support helps us keep bringing these stories to life. See you in the next episode.